The security situation in the country at the moment, but of course we'll get some sort of a report to you now, and always we'll take it from there.
It was a Black Sunday for residents of Jaji as they witnessed a twin attack on the St. Andrew's Military Protestant Church located within the premises of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna. This is the first time the town will be witnessing an attack of this kind, and it comes as a shock to the residents, especially as it happened within the premises of a military formation.
What I just heard now, the bomb explode, and I hear. I just heard say the thing just explode, boom.
This is the first time?
This is the first time we had this kind of a thing in Jaji. So we never had all this kind of a thing before.
The way it happens, it's a shock event because whenever I expect that it will happen here, the way I'm seeing, security should be more alert.
Journalists were barred from gaining entrance into the site of the attack. The same resistance was met at some of the hospitals where those injured were being treated. However, the Chief Medical Director of the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Lawal Khalid, explained that those that survived the blast are responding to treatment.
Unfortunately, after the bomb blast at Jaji, a total number of 11 casualties were brought to ABU Teaching Hospital, out of which 2 have died, but 9 are on admission in our accident and emergency unit. We are watching them closely. If we find a need to move them to the intensive care unit, we will not hesitate to take them there because that's where they will get the best of treatment. But their conditions are not as critical as to warrant moving them to the intensive care unit yet.
Several other injured persons are receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, as well as another hospital within the premises of the Jaji military cantonment.
Well, so there you have it. Mr. Innocent Chukwuma joins us now. He's a criminologist and of the Cleen Foundation also. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
What's happening again? This kind of matters are, they pop up in the front burner. We'll take a look at situations, and before you know what's going on, bam, you have some sort of thing happening on again. Such that we've got people asking questions now, such that, when people who are supposed to, when gunmen, this one comes from Harrison actually, he says, when gunmen attack those who are supposed to protect Nigerian citizens and go free, big questions. But this is not entirely the case because some, I think they said 2 were killed eventually. But this entire matter, where reports say it caught them by surprise. Should that word even come up, surprise?
Well, it depends on the way you look at it. The reports we are reading says the Abuja one happened around 2 a.m. Which is when you expect even the most vigilant of security personnel to begin to, on the basis of what has happened in the course of the day, begin to relax a little, which suggests that the people who carried out the attack, it was not just an opportunistic attack. They must have watched the target, watch the movement, and caught them at a time when they were least prepared for such. But to the extent that the attack was repelled, resisted, and casualties on both sides means that they were not totally caught pants down.
But sometimes, yes, given the time of the attack, because, security personnel know that these guys watch. They watch them, and as such, the IG has always been talking about preparation almost all the time. And so people thought that for even approaching SARS headquarters in Abuja, what kind of statement could they be trying to make?
Well, yes, to the public at large, it may seem so. But we also know in the study of crime, you have 2 categories. You have opportunistic one where somebody merely took advantage of an opportunity. And then you have premeditated ones, which in spite of all preparations, you are human beings. People answer the call of nature. People do, these people have been at it. So we should also not be too hard on our security personnel because it happens everywhere. But what differentiates what is happening here and perhaps on the other parts of the world is the kind of response I mean, to the extent that every country in the world, even the most sophisticated, do suffer this kind of attack. And in the literature, we know that it's just like an assassin that is targeting you. You can only do so much, you know. But what happens after the incident is what differentiates the better prepared and perhaps the unprepared.
Well, the way it is now, you know, sometimes we talk about equipping the police, and we also talk about firepower when it comes to police and the bad guys. I remember the last time we had you on the program, we were talking about reforms and how better we can equip the police. Talking about weapons, how well have we fared, before we go back to this whole thing of the SARS attack? How far have we fared as a nation in giving the police better weapons?
Thanks for that important question. I think it's actually an area Nigerians need to be seriously hard on our government, that they have not really done much. We saw the Perry Osayende report. It took 4 months, you know, to prepare it, and then another committee was set up to prepare a white paper. And while that committee is sitting and the white paper not coming out, we saw last week, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday, the Minister of Police Affairs brought in an Accenture Management group to come up with some fancy slides about a roadmap or reforming the police. And you are asking, on what basis is this map? The white paper has not come out. Or could it be that because the ministry was recommended for scrapping in the Perry Osayende report, that he wanted to come up with a parallel thing? So that gives you the impression that within government circle, there is no coordination, and neither are the seriousness in terms of equipping the security forces with what they need, you know, to respond this kind of thing. And also the messaging you get from government functionaries about this is contradictory. Beginning with the appointment of the current National Security Advisor, one thought government was moving away from the hawkish strategy that characterized his predecessor's regime, and he moved on to the hotspot. He visited Borno for the first time because the predecessor, and indeed the president, never went there, called on the elders to help out. And then we had the advisor to the president come to tell us that they are indeed, you know, doing some dialogue with the group. 2 Sundays ago, the president comes up on a media chat and said nothing like that is happening, that these are faceless people, we can't, you know, do anything with them. And perhaps what we are seeing now is from the group telling that we may be faceless to you, but to our victims, we are real, we are not faceless. So this kind of contradictory messaging only goes to encourage people who are doing this, and the government should rethink it.
Well, going through that particular report yesterday, you know, SARS, that's the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the unit of the police. Is it possible that some of those, we're trying to read the mind, even though we're still trying to speak with the police, is it possible that some of those suspected militants are also kept there?
Well, if you read the Human Rights Watch report on security response to the situation, and indeed the report of other groups that have paid close attention to this, there is the allegation that some of them are indeed kept in that facility, because it's supposed to be a high security detention facility, primarily reserved for hardened robbery suspect. And now that terrorism is trending and perhaps overshooting robbery in terms of national security priority, they are also being kept there. But we are told that among those that escaped, that none of them was a Boko Haram member. Well, it's left to you to decide how that differentiation was made. But that is indeed the case.
With this attack now, there are those who feel that there's no hope. Is it possible? Should that be the feeling out there?
Well, it's an overwhelming feeling out there, especially when you are not getting any coherent message from those whom you elected, you know, to lead you. One would have expected when situation like this, what we should not be found one thing is reassuring people, giving people hope. But when you are coming from different angles, people are left to their fate to decide. And that's also why perhaps people are now considering taking their own initiatives to protect themselves in an environment where they cannot count on the government they elected. And as we were saying before we went on, if these people can strike at the heart of the hollow chambers of security forces and got away with it.